Welcome to Tournament in a Tea Break. I am Roz Satar.
I'm Chris Otto.
And we are at the end of day 1, 2, 3 of Wimbledon. And guess what? The rains came. Not only did the rains came, but the wrath of Wozniacki. In fact, we actually got quite a lot to sort of chit-chat about. So let's kick off with the world number 2, the reigning Australian Open champion, who has now discovered that what people are interested in is not the fact that she's no longer a slamless number 1, and not the fact that, she's Miss Sunshine, but the fact that she's never been past the 4th round of Wimbledon. And guess what? She ain't doing it this year either.
No, and we all expected it to happen.
You called it.
And it did. And Ekaterina Makarova tried to spoil the party, the upset city party that we're about to have, but she got so nervous in the third set, wickedly nervous.
5 match points in that one game, and then I think she got it on her 6th.
She converted her 6th eventually, but the games between 5-1 and 5-5, they were just terrible to watch. But it was all in all, it was pretty entertaining stuff.
I think the word we're looking for is head Casey. But what was interesting, I think it's actually interesting. A lot of people have a persona that they attach to players, I've noticed in the Twitter land, where they think that because of what they see, so for example, if they see somebody behaving really nice and like chatty and wonderful in their on-court tennis interview after they finish the match, they think that that's what they're like when they come into press, and it ain't necessarily so, people. So Wozniacki came into press, and her first words, the answer to the first question, and she was, as you would expect, a touch peeved. The answer to her first question was, Makarova raised her level, she played really well. Okay, that's fine, good tick in the box. And then as the interview wore on, the responses became more like, well, I don't think you're ever going to see that level from her again, and I don't think you're going to see her go very far, which is fine. You've just lost a match. You've got all these people in the whole of the run-up talking about why haven't you made it into the second week. The only thing is, if you're going to drag someone that, let's be fair, Makarova's form has been a little bit iffy from time to time. If you're going to drag someone, make sure that you've actually beaten them in the tournament that you're in. And Makarova has actually been to the quarterfinal, something that Wozniacki hasn't. So she let herself down a little bit there, I think. It was a little bit bitter, it was a bit unnecessary, in my opinion.
Can I just say that I enjoyed it?
Oh, yeah.
And I enjoyed the aftermath as well. I mean, I think we were talking about this last night about how Roger Federer can be pissy, and we said we enjoy it because it shows how badly he wants to win and how fixated he is on achieving these goals of his. And I think Wozniacki's the same thing. And I think she thinks she's good on grass, and maybe she is better than her numbers at Wimbledon show us on grass. She's made the round of 16 a bunch of times. Yeah. She's 22-12 lifetime, now 22-13. I think she was very disappointed that she didn't win this match, especially given the way that Makarova kind of tried to hand it to her in the end. But I love the drama, and I love the way that people react to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny. I'm in a writing room with George Belshaw, who is a great guest and friend of our podcast, and he was saying that war broke out between Halep fans and Wozniacki fans, who still think that Halep's bitter about the Australian Open. It's like, but she's already won a slam, so that doesn't even count as an argument. But anyway, I think I wonder whether there's an element of a bit of a dip after the adrenaline for Wozniacki. And it's not just winning the Australian Open. She also won the WTA finals. So that up until the point that she won the Australian Open, that was her biggest title. And then she went straight from that to a good performance down under and obviously winning a slam. Number 1, I don't think counts for her. And she said so at the time because she's been there and done that. So now, unfortunately, the big bugbears for her are going to be, well, your performance at the other slams. So I think she's going to end up having to face this, why haven't you made it past Manic Monday, until she makes it past Manic Monday. So the same as Zverev and why haven't you made it to a quarterfinal? And
right.
Your world number, whatever it is, number 3, seeded 3rd.
Or Pliskova took her 18 majors to get to the second week.
And Pliskova is actually the only continuing active slamless number 1 now. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's a shame.
So, but hey, talking of Pliskova, she actually made it, so she's going to see what the third round looks like for the first time.
Right, that's big news for her.
It is.
Strong performance.
It is.
Tough, tricky match next round with Buzarnescu, who we wouldn't have thought, if you asked us last year, Pliskova was going to play Buzarnescu in the third round of Wimbledon. We'd think that would be a no-brainer, but now that's anybody's match, it seems.
Well,
but
I mean, her serving was so much better today. You know, it was a disaster. It was a disaster against Harriet Dart, and no offense to Harriet, she played really, really well, but you know, for Pliskova not to get past her in 2 sets was pretty shocking.
Yeah, surprising. Today, no break points faced, right, against Vika, a great returner.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's her second match on center court. She liked it. Maybe she even loved it. So maybe this is the breakthrough. Maybe she's going to show some of that tennis that we saw. What was it, 2016 U.S. Open? Where she beat Venus?
Yeah. And she almost had Angie on the ropes.
Yeah.
So you know, it and the thing is, she got, like all the Czechs, she does have a game for grass. She just sometimes doesn't believe it. So let's see how she goes. Let's see if she gets to see what the fourth round looks like.
So 2 big names we were waiting for grass breakthroughs from. We got maybe one from Pliskova and definitely not one from Wozniacki. So to sum it up.
Pretty much. And, of course, we got blessed by rain. So the story's been that the weather in the United Kingdom, which is not exactly renowned for its heatwave potential, has been absolutely glorious. So there was hardly any rain. I think there was one day, maybe 1 or 2 hours of rain in Birmingham. So this is 2 weeks before the start of Wimbledon. In Eastbourne, there was not a drop of rain, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And bearing in mind that Eastbourne is by the sea, and you expect there to be cloud a lot of the time and frets coming in off the sea, there was nothing. It was gloriously bright and sunny. And in general, we in the United Kingdom can't cope with that, and we start praying for really crappy weather, and we got it. So they eventually called the matches. The women, there's 2 matches that haven't been played. But the men are in all kinds of trouble. There's how many matches to go? 1, 2,
temporary
3,
trouble.
4,
I see 5 open
6
spots.
7, I think. 2, 3,
I'm counting
4, 5, 6.
there.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, so some people are going to have to play back-to-back days.
Yeah,
it's never a good thing in a major. But you overcome it if you're in the right frame of mind and doing the right things, and that's why you want to get on and off the court if you're a higher seed as quickly as possible. Try to win those matches in straight sets, but it could be tricky.
Yeah, I mean,
particularly for the guys who haven't started, like Kohlschreiber and Mueller could end up playing a 5-setter tomorrow, and they might have to come back again the following day. But it makes for some keen discussion for sure. And by the way, did it even rain? It did. People get the wrong idea about the rain, like, oh, it's so rainy. Maybe it sprinkled a bit, but it's really the grass that's so sensitive.
The second time around, it definitely did rain.
Did it spit a bit?
Because I missed it. The first time was spitting, and it wasn't particularly. It was like, I want to be rain when I grow up, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And then they brought them on, and then it was like kind of 1 raindrop, then 3 raindrops, and then maybe a few of its more of its mates, and then it would disappear. And then there was another burst of rain, and this time it was like really heavy. I mean, we could hear it through the windows, and we opened the windows, and there was like rain, and all the security guards were scattering for cover. Yep. So yeah, the second time it was. And then they messed about a little bit. They didn't bring people back onto the outside courts quite rightly. And they messed about a little bit on court 1. They brought Cilic back on. He got broken.
Tough situation.
Yeah, he was not happy as well. He was like, I think at one stage the umpire, the referee, was like kind of, do a warm-up and work it out. And so he was like kind of doing all this like side scampering and sprint. And we were just sat there agog thinking, and what happens if he slips and breaks his ankle? Testing it out.
He did take a fall after the delay once.
So
he was fine though, but yeah, it's tricky. Isner and Bemelmans. Isner had an outburst that I was reading about on Twitter. The Americans overseas are always trouble. I'm one of them, but I haven't bothered anybody
yet.
Yeah, yet.
But yeah, Isner was. I mean, we watched it back, and it was quite funny because he got burned by a Hawkeye call. On his way to being 2 sets up, and then he got burned again as Bemelmans had started to fight back, and the call you couldn't see it. You could only actually see it from Hawkeye the way that the cameras are. So Bemelmans hits a shot, it lands on the back of the baseline, it doesn't even look like it's way out. So it was called out. Bemelman's challenges. It's proved to be in. So Isner's like, how can I accept that? Hawkeye is wrong. It's not working. It's like, well, it quite clearly is working.
Even if it was wrong, you can't do anything about it.
Because somebody's decided to challenge. So he's like, wait,
you can't challenge a Hawkeye.
He was like flapping his long levers about and just generally being quite stroppy.
It's 4th of July. He wanted to be home.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often that you see him that agitated, to be fair to him. But yes, so now, and as much as there's death and taxes, there is John Isner in a 5-setter on an outside court in Wimbledon.
Can I pose a question to you about the men's draw, lower half?
Yeah, go on.
All right, thank you. Out of this section, Isner, Bemelmans, Bedene, Albert, Tsitsipas, Donaldson, Fabiano, Wawrinka. Who gets out of that and makes a round of 16 or makes the quarters? Actually,
I know. I'm going to go out on a limb, attached or otherwise, and say not Wawrinka.
One of those names is going to make the quarters.
I know.
Stefano Tsitsipas.
Yeah,
do you hear us? Do you hear us?
Well, let's hope it is, because
that would be a breath of fresh air.
It would. I mean, he's a nice kid as well. Okay, so rain delay. Well, we Brits love a bit of rain, and we have Brits as well. So we have Kyle Edmund and Joe Conter both on centre. Katie Bolter is out, I think, on court 1 or maybe 2. I can't remember, but yeah. So both the Brits are going to be on centre court, and they should get through it too. And Katie Bolter gets to meet Naomi Osaka again. Now, she got a bar card into Birmingham, and Osaka taught her a bit of a lesson. And it's quite interesting listening to her impress, because she's perky, she's blonde, she speaks quite well. She's from Leicester, so we'll forgive her from that. But she, it's interesting because she made the mistake of saying that she was a bit fatigued in her doubles. So, of course, everybody pounced. It was like, well, if you're fatigued in doubles, then how are you going to play tomorrow? It's like, well, I'm sure I'm going to rest up and do this. And, well, Osaka basically slapped you silly. What are you going to do? And she's like, well, I'll talk to my team. That's what they're there for. So, I can't see her winning it. But I do think that she'll actually put what she seems to be of the kind of mind to put what she's learnt into practice and try and be a bit more. I think she went down 1 and 2 in Birmingham to Osaka.
What round was that? Quarters?
No, first round. Okay. Because she had a wild card, so she wouldn't have been. So she's not going to win, but I think she's going to make it a little bit more competitive. But yeah, I'm keen to see how she does and how she deals with it all. So far, she seems to have a level head on her shoulders. She seems to be very good. Both of them, actually. Both Katie Swan and Katie Bolter came into press after getting schooled in doubles. And they have a good energy about them, and they have a good attitude about them. So I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, obviously our hopes are on Kyle, who should breeze through Bradley Clan, that nobody can find any information on, not even us. On
center court.
But what both George and I fear for Konta against Cibulkova for a couple of reasons. One, Cibulkova is a former quarterfinalist here, very good on grass. She's got a compact, punchy style, can get around the courts a lot. She's going to pull Konta left and right, and more importantly, she's going to pull her forward, because we know that Konta is working on those volleys of hers. Her drive volleys, not a problem, but trying to have that deft touch at the net, she doesn't have that kind of feel. She was very good in her first round match. Surprisingly good, actually, so maybe that's coming. But Cibulkova also is hacked off at the fact that she lost her seeding to Serena Williams, so she's going to be already pumped and feisty anyway. So this, I see 3 sets of angst and roller coaster written all over it.
I see that as well.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fun one.
Well, fun for people watching, except for us, where I'll just be curled up in the fetal position underneath my desk, probably.
Won't be the first time.
No, exactly. But in terms of the rest of the order of play, actually tomorrow's order of play is actually looking pretty good.
It's fantastic.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
I mean, Del Potro and Feliciano Lopez, that's a great one. What else?
That's a war of attrition one.
We're keeping our eye on Bernard Tomic and Kei Nishikori. Tomic has won the last 2 against Kei.
Yeah, but which Tomic is going to turn up?
Yeah, we never know, but it's interesting that he's still here in the mix. Barty Bouchard should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that one I think is going to be a fun one. My money's on Barty, though.
Benoit Paire, Denis Shapovalov on court number 3, followed by Ostapenko and Kirsten Flipkins on court number 3. Anything else you see?
Angie Kerber and Claire Liu. I think Angie can be upended by people that she's never met before quite easily. I think she'll come through, but I think she'll struggle. And Putintseva and Kazatkina is one that jumps out as sheer entertainment value.
Yeah.
And you want Zumher and Gulbis as well, don't you?
Zimmer and Gulbis looks interesting. Most of the matches I look at look real good from all the way back to court number 3. So it's going to be a fun day.
Okay. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. Well, will we be back tomorrow?
I'm via satellite from a pub.
Okay, all right. We might not be back tomorrow, but we will be back at some stage to probably round up just all of the second round, and then we're going to start getting to the business end of the tournament.
Can't believe it's already here, but not quite. So
no,
this is the sweet spot. We got to really. It's chaotic, but you have to enjoy it, embrace it.
Okay, I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands wouldn't.
Yep.
You have, of course, been listening to Roz Satar from Britwatch Sports.
And Chris Otto.
Thank you for listening.